So excited to be here and to be the last ones. We're keeping you guys from the beer right now.
So I'm Anthony Maschmedt, owner of Dwell Development, and what's different about this project is it's a spec project. It's part of a 15-unit sustainable micro-community down in Columbia City that I'm developing, and it's the last home of the first 15 units that we put together. The community was designed to be extremely all-energy efficient homes, all 5-star built green, and as we started this project, I'm just going to give a background before I click buttons here. To me, it's all about this guy pushing me to be a better builder from a spec standpoint, and me trying to figure out a way how I can do it and still be profitable. And he hammers me and he says, try this wall system. I say, okay, let's do it. And what about this? I say, okay, let's do it. And then he introduced me to this guy, and he's uber smart because he's a Passivhaus consultant, and I figure I can start surrounding myself with people to get me to be able to do Passivhaus as above and beyond what I'm doing with just a 5-star built green home. And so that was the challenge put for us on this latest project, and I'm glad to say that we've achieved it with our first Passivhaus spec home that I know of in the northwest of Seattle for sure. Yeah.
That is pre-sold. It's not even finished yet, and it's already pre-sold. So that's pretty exciting.
And I'm kind of kicking myself because it's the first home that was built, and I'm like, well, maybe we should have put it to market to see what a value a Passivhaus that's actually built to spec would achieve in the marketplace. And someone made me a great offer, and they're great buyers, and it fit perfect. And I'm like, I'm not a greedy guy, so absolutely. But at the same time, I would have been interested to see what the market would have allowed us. So this is a picture of the first Passivhaus that we have done and attempted, and it was a journey. To be honest with you, every home I built in this community has gone extremely smooth. We've tried different wall systems on every one of them. This home, whatever could go wrong, went wrong during construction. It was like it was not supposed to happen, and we did it anyway. I mean, the framing was a month behind because the trusses were backlogged. The windows was on the same shipment as the other group of Intus windows, and was like 12 weeks late, which worked out okay. It rained when we did our exterior weather barrier, and it was just everything just was going wrong, and we pulled together and we did it. What do you want to add to that, Tadashi? Because you were right there with me.
Yeah. What's really exciting about this whole project for the Seattle Housing Authority for Rainier Vista, when we started 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So for 2 years ago when we started this project, the real estate market was really bad.
Yeah.
So we went to the city and we said, hey, we're going to design this 15-unit high-performance project. We weren't even thinking about Passivhaus at that time, but we thought if we could make it pretty high performance, still double slug walls, R40 walls. We're doing HRV systems, triple pane windows, fairly tight, about 2 ACH50. Wow. But we came up with this theory that in a declining market, when everything was not selling very well, all the other builders said, okay, we're going to cut costs. We're going to cut costs to survive, and we're going to lower our prices. Well, Dwell Development, instead of doing that, they figured this. The people who are buying at that time have a choice. They want to be picky. So they want to have more. So we decided to actually, at that time, give them more. So we thought this was actually going to work. So we did the triple pane windows, we did all this high performance, and when everybody else was getting hammered in the real estate market, we pre-sold the first 4 units at framing.
Actually, 2 of them we pre-sold before I even owned the dirt. So the buyers really appreciated the idea of this, of a high-performance home in a declining market. They're smart buyers, they have money. You can't compare it to a code-built home. It's completely different. So we didn't just survive, we thrived in the down market, which is great to. I'm glad I'm standing here because now we're actually expanding quite a bit. But the challenge I put forth to Aaron in particular, because we brought him in, and he's going to start talking in a minute, was really we need to make a Passivhaus, but we can't go too far away from how I'm building the home now, which is a double 2x4 wall, the exterior air barrier, triple pane windows, and we really did it. We increased with the Intus windows, but really it isn't that much different from the homes that we're building, which average about a 1.5 to 2.5 air exchange, which is still a really good home, 5-star built green, really comfortable, wonderful homes to live in. But this it wasn't that far of a reach for us, and the goal is to make it attainable in the spec market, and to allow us to be a model for we can do it again and again and again. This isn't a custom home. We don't have endless pockets. I have to be able to sell it and still make a profit and keep within a budget. And so that was the challenge of this. It isn't that far away from our really other good quality homes that we built.
So going from it, so I have a question for you. So from your standard build, which you do number 2x4 walls, two 2x4 walls,
Yeah,
compared to
later slide. It's in there.
Oh really?
Yeah. And we took care of the assemblies. All right, let's get into the assemblies. These guys are going to talk. It's probably time's already gone, I guess. So basically, 4-inch concrete slab, and it's 8 inches of XPS underneath. You know, spec EPS, but XPS showed up on site, so we used it. Wall, just a double stud wall with 14 inches cellulose. Sheathing, WRB on the outside. Pretty simple. And then the roof is just 18-inch roof trusses with 2 inches of the closed cell water-blown icing and insulation for the unvented assembly, and then dense packed with cellulose. Yeah, so here are the upgrades that Tadashi was talking about. And basically, they're already doing the double stud wall, so we just increase the thickness to 14 inches, switch to cellulose instead of fiberglass insulation, and are using a rain screen now. The slab, we just added a little bit more insulation there, totally broke it, and put in a delineated, air barrier. Roof, like I said, just switched to cellulose and switched to water-blown SPF. Windows, high performance. Ventilation system, they're already using them in all their projects, so we just used one that was a little more efficient and eliminated some things like the dryer exhaust and the kitchen exhaust. And then basically the biggest thing is just the details. Details in air sealing, things like that, just really being diligent about it. There we go, foundation detail, pretty colors. Separated the slab with 4 inches of insulation. And this is actually a really good detail. It's a negative thermal bridge at your foundation. I think the slide value was minus 0.007, and it was really easy to do actually. That was the benefit of the thicker wall, which allowed us to break the slab right from the foundation. Wall window detail, pretty much the same as all the others. Nothing really fancy here. High performance windows, air barrier on the outside, comes back in under the sill. And then wall roof detail. This one was a little complicated because the parapet walls were built into the roof trusses even though they weren't supposed to be. The air barrier is supposed to transfer over with some kind of detail similar to Artisans Group or someone else put on top of the sheeting. And that didn't happen when the trusses came on site, so we had to go up, over, and down the parapet walls with the, with the turnout. Ventilation, Zender Comfo Air. Like I said, it's very simple. 63 CFM, hard round smooth, so no flex duct. That was the only change from their current, building system. And then they're already using mini splits, so nothing really different from their normal project. And then this one is for all the nerds out there. TFA 1500, surface area compactness 3.7, actually not too bad. And there are all your other numbers. Air tightness, did blow door test a few weeks ago, 0.58. And then, and this one's for you guys. Take away some lessons learned.
So go ahead.
Okay. Oh, if you don't get it, it's supposed to ride your subs. So.
Right.
That's what it means.
That's what it means.
I didn't get it at all.
That's right. Yeah.
I think one of the things that we really want to do while we're trying to present these Passivhaus and build them is to make them so that they're attainable by the mass public. If we want to have more of these things done, we have to be profitable at it and to get their costs down. So I want to ask Anthony, so from what you used to build compared to Passivhaus, how much was an upgrade in cost per square foot? How much you normally cost to build compared to a Passivhaus now?
We can look at it 2 ways. I can look at it, like your question asked, it's probably, we budget for about $130 a square foot for a regular 5-star built green home. This is probably about $140 a square foot. I throw in probably about a 5% contingency for the passive house, because really the only upgrades for us was the details of managing that, but it really was the windows and then some more insulation. And really that was the only difference from what we were already building. So it wasn't a huge leap for us. That's the key. It's not a big monumental jump for us. It has to be attainable, and we just want to repeat it now. Yeah.
And the design.
I apologize. It's the most important thing, obviously. Yeah, and Carissa is here, their structural engineer. And she's awesome.
Great.
Yeah, she is. So our goal is we have the first 15 units are completed now. All the homes are pre-sold. We have another 32 homes that are in construction or in design right now. In the end, there will be 42 homes in one community of modern, sustainable, 5-star built green homes, and within that, there's going to be 3 passive houses, all in one community. So I believe it's going to be the largest, modern, most energy efficient community that we know of in this area, built to that level. So that's our
I don't know if everybody knows, but right now in the Seattle real estate market, there's an incredible boom in what's happening with built green, 4- and 5-star and high performance homes. It's actually Jess Harris. I want to give a little shout out for the DPD by creating one of the best priority green programs, probably in the country, that really has stimulated a tremendous amount of movement with sustainability.
So another round of applause for the development team. Are we going to have any questions from the audience? I see one, so let's ask the teams to come back up here, and I'm going to ask whoever takes the question on their team to repeat it to the microphone, so those who are listening in remotely on the internet can hear the question and respond. So immediately after this, we're going to do the 6-packs presentation. Then we have a happy hour at Green Home Solutions. If you don't know where Green Home Solutions is on Nickerson, then ask your neighbor. Actually, Albert's going to say something here. We got maps.
If anybody needs help with the AIA credits, then please ask. You do have the ability to make sure you get the credits for.
So what Albert is saying is, if you want AIA credits, please go back to that table where Albert was just standing. So questions?
I'm going to cheat it, squeeze in a quick couple too. For Dan, how did you choose paper-faced and foil-faced for the polyiso? And for Dwell, as you move forward for the non-passive house projects, is there anything that you're going to carry forward from this first passive house experience and incorporate that into your standard buildings?
So so we're using a paper-faced polyiso on the exterior of the Ballard Passive House, which is normally what you see in exterior buildings is the foil-faced polyiso, and the foil facing has essentially zero permeability. It's an impermeable membrane. The paper-faced, we're actually researching that. The jury is a little bit out on the permeability of those membranes, but it is definitely it's classified as a vapor permeable material. The polyiso, moisture can move through the polyiso, moisture can move through the facings. The one issue that is potentially there is thermal drift of the polyiso. One of the reasons for that foil facing is to keep the gases in the polyiso. So they're actually, John Semmelheck is researching this right now on a project. But I spoke with, asked Achilles, how do you say it? Achilles Cargogolis from the Greek. He was like, be sure to use paper faced if you're going to do that in the exterior of this building in the Seattle climate. So, and just a quick moment, I'll do the Green Homes Tour of Seattle is on April 27th, and that project is on that tour. So come on out April 27th to see the project.
Our passive house is on that same tour as well, so we're gonna be I just wanted, it's more than merrier. Your question was, what am I going to carry forward? The goal is for Dwell is that if we can get the passive house to be our new standard spec, that's our goal. So every time we do a project, like I said, Tadashi and Aaron are in my ear trying to push me to make little changes into the design. So our goal is that every house we do will be a passive house. I have a lot to learn. I'll be the first to admit it. It's my first run at it, and everyone in this room probably has a lot more experience in passive house than I do, but we're going to get there. It's just a matter of time. So every little thing we learn is going to be carried forward to answer your question. Yeah.
Skylar had something to add.
Well, I just wanted to say that foil-faced or not, the wall assembly really is going to be successful either way. And then there's some challenges without using the foil facing is when the paper face stuff gets wet, they turn into potato chips, and so you got to be careful what time of year you're installing it. And so go either way, really. It's not going to, as long as it's thick enough, it's not going to really change anything.
Thanks. Aside from the spec home, I'm just curious from the different projects whether you're finding that people are actually approaching you to have a passive house project, or are you finding that you're pushing your clients towards that, from maybe they approach you to do lead or something like that?
You can have each of the teams answer that question. Randy, do you want to start?
Sure, we're definitely being approached by people. We've got a pretty good voice. We're definitely being approached by people that they may not come in the door saying they want a passive house, but they're definitely looking for a super energy efficient home. And they're approaching the Artisans Group because they think we're going to be able to help them figure out where they land on that whole conversation. I would say that the majority of the people that we're talking to now come in the door with that being an initial goal. Having said that, it's not hard to take somebody that just wants a nice house and say, great, we'll build you a nice house. And about halfway up to the point where we're building them a nice house, they're like, wow, this is an energy efficient house, isn't it? And that works too.
Sure, and I would say yes, we are also being approached about passive house. NK does a lot of multifamily, almost exclusively multifamily, and we're really excited to do a multifamily passive house building, and it looks like we may have a couple opportunities with that in the Seattle area.
Generally, it's fantastic to have clients like Jim come through the door and say, I want a passive house. And it's like, that's what you want. It's like, okay, yes, this is exciting. The word is out, right? The word's out for us. And it's happening, and people are coming to us at this stage. And this past week, I had another interview with somebody who wanted a passive house. We're really, the number we start in a month is somebody who wanted a passive house. So the word's out. So
Good job.
Just a quick question. Are the passive houses that you're building, are they certified? And if so, who's doing the certification?
Yes, our passive house projects are certified, and they are certified by FIAS through the FIAS Plus program.
The NK project will be certified, and it's certified through Passivhaus Academy.
Ours will be certified as well, and Passivhaus Academy, and he's going to be the verifier.
We've had pre-certification on 2 of the projects that we've been involved with, and frankly, we're a little behind on our certification efforts on the other ones, but we'll catch up.
All right. Well, it looks like we have no more questions, so I just want to thank everybody. And
I just have a question for the Dwell team. You spoke about a WRB in your exterior wall system. Did you incorporate a vapor barrier?
The WRB is the vapor barrier, so it's the Tremco and Envirodrive. It's a combination of a barrier and air barrier. So that's
leaking up on one side of the insulation?
Nope.
so I'd like to ask for a big round of applause for our announcer. We have where's our six-pack announcer? Alex, are you gonna do this?
He's drunk. He's taking the six-pack in his stash.
Come on, Alex, we need you. We need the certifiable German builder to speak to us on this.
Show us your six-pack.
Which also means that half of the six-pack goes to me, right? I don't know if there's much to announce. You know, if you have a project that hasn't received a six-pack and you feel entitled to, you should come up, like, name your project, maybe talk about the attendance level you achieved, and I'm going to grab some. Is there anybody else in the audience? Anybody have their own project? Adam, get yourself up here. Have you got a six-pack before?
I got a back before. Yeah, but you've done some building since then. Adam's building, like buildings that have reached. Yeah, and new buildings that have reached.
Every new building.
Right.
You get one for life. Anybody? It's a cake.
Well, any Canadians here? Hey? Well, we Park Passive got a 0.6 ACH. Just.
In the interest of the integrated design process, these beers will be shared by the team.
What about Katrine? Is she still around? Yeah.
She's right there. You got one, don't you?
Have you got a six-pack?